Gintama is one of the most underrated animes out there. Every fandom has their advocates or YouTubers that talk about said anime, like whether it's the JoJo fandom, Dragon Ball's fandom, or even Naruto's fandom. There's a load of videos and content for the fanbase to choose from. However, when it comes to good old Gintama, there's literally a handful of AniTubers that make any type of content for it. So, in other words, there's a limited number of videos I can binge to waste my life away. Nowhere near enough people talk about this gem of an anime, so here I am, talking about it. You're welcome. Before we go any further into the video, you already know the drill. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and to hit that notification bell to be notified the next time I drop another video. So let's get right into it. So, Gintama is an anime that most people struggle to get into, and because of that, it gets put onto the back burner until you kind of forget that you're even watching the show. Honestly, even I had this problem at the start because I watched episode 1 and 2. Yeah, don't do that. I'm serious. Don't do that. Those 2 episodes were special to celebrate the manga being made into an anime, and they were abysmally bad. So just spare yourself the confusion, because after I watched those 2 episodes, I obviously watched the next one, which was episode 3. And I was just mad confused, because in the first 2 episodes, everyone's character and relationship is already pre-established. So you kinda get the vibe that you're starting the story in the middle and not at the beginning of the adventure, which was fine. But then in the 3rd episode, they begin introducing and building the characters and the relationships from scratch. So I was just sat there feeling a little discombobulated because
What are you playing at? What are you doing?
honestly, what kind of backwards logic were they trying to get at? Well, I kept watching it anyways because I'm selective about what pisses me off, and it was one of the best choices of my life. So, if you don't already know the plot summary of Gintama, it basically follows the story of former samurai Gintoki scraping together whatever livelihood he has in Japan. In Gintoki's Japan, the arrival of the different space races known collectively as the Amanto ended the era of the samurai. The Amanto's highly advanced technology resulted in total conquest and a big economic shift. Gintoki's profession of choice is doing any odd job you can literally think of for money. The key word in that sentence is choice. However, Gin is unmotivated and spends most of the day on his couch with the latest issue of Jump and a carton of strawberry milk. It's his preferred pastime. It turns out that his new unpaid employees, Shinpachi and Kagura, are going to interfere with this pastime even more than his work, air quotation. Of course, none of this means he has really given up on his samurai ideologies. That was a mouthful. Yeah, that sounds very wacky, very whimsical, and for a while I honestly thought it was just that, a wacky comedic parody anime. It's actually so much more layered than that. In the earlier episodes of the show, the anime has a slow burn, like a really slow burn approach to building relationships, characters, running gags, setting up jokes, and the overall plot. But in between all the paradoxical shenanigans, they've sneaked in a bit of character and plot development that you'll only really notice when you haven't skipped any episodes. Throughout the entirety of this video, you're going to notice I keep reiterating that, because just don't skip the episodes. I'm actually going to keep a score of how many times I say it during this video. So actually somehow manages to slowly build and add onto this foundation even further amidst these wacky scenarios. This is the baseline of the series, and it relies on this foundation as the story gradually unfolds. Only loyal viewers who haven't skipped any episodes will truly be able to appreciate and be impacted by the more serious arcs that come down the line. I feel like this is another reason of why I really love Gintama. It's the unexpected storyline. While I was watching the show, I didn't even notice the loose plot threads Sorachi garnered the episodes with, until those threads developed into a big fat ball of yarn, of plot. And then it was too late. I was already in too deep. And building off of that point, this is another reason I stress about not skipping the episodes, because yes, the series arcs are really intense and emotional and visually immaculate. The main reason it hits so hard is because it's these particular characters we've watched countless episodes of goofing off and living daily lives that are thrusted into a very serious situation that has such a drastic shift in tone. It's watching how these characters that we've unknowingly created an emotional attachment to react and act in these situations or arcs makes it hit home and really come together. So no, you can't just jump into a random arc. It's not going to hit the same. Another element that gets somewhat overlooked is the theme. Gintama's cast is filled with bizarre, light-hearted and wacky characters that brilliantly juxtapose the darker and more cynical underlying themes in the series, such as the dichotomy of hope and hopelessness. This is also why I feel like the villains in the series are so good, because they perfectly oppose Gintoki's core ideals and philosophy and act as a great character foil. And in doing so, they manage to highlight them even further, which is great and what the perfect villain should do. I don't want to go too in depth into it because Gintoki's own video is pending, and I was planning on exploring all that technical stuff a lot more in that video. But regardless, the portrayal of some of these themes is so artfully written and it really does deserve way more recognition. Can I talk about the openings real quick? Of course I can. Gintama has one of the best openings and endings of all time, hands down. Like when it comes down to the music, they don't play. They bring their A game. Like till this day, I still be jamming to those tunes.
To this day! To this day!
And yet no one be giving it enough credit. It's the ultimate underdog of shonen anime. I just wanted to slot that in there. I know that Gintama is somewhat of an acquired taste, so I know I'll get absolute shite for saying it's a masterpiece, but it really is. Gintama is a masterpiece that I wish more people would give a chance to actually experiencing. I've literally rewrote the script for this video so many times to make sure I was thoroughly giving this amazing series justice without dropping any spoilers, and this is what I ended up with. It still doesn't capture the greatness of it. Gintama is amazing and criminally underrated. Ever since it ended, I still haven't finished grieving, but knowing Sorachi, it probably hasn't. I'll give it a couple of years. I hope you've enjoyed this love letter to Gintama, because let's be honest, that's what this really was. If you're a fellow fangirl or fanboy, drop a comment down below to let me know that the Silver Soul still lives on. Also, I'd like to apologize for inconsistency. I literally haven't posted in a hot minute. One word.
Coronavirus! Coronavirus!
I'll see you lot in my next video, and with that, I'm out.